Hello fellow brawlers, I'm KairosTime, and it is time to talk about Jessie's, Bibi's, and Jean's star powers. We're showing gameplay of the newest ones, and we're going to be ranking them so you know which one you should focus on getting first and using most of the time. And of course guys, make sure you subscribe for future videos similar to this for all the other star powers we're going to be releasing here. I actually just barely hit 300,000 subscribers right now as I'm recording this, which is crazy. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the video. After some celebration cringe. We're going to go ahead and start off by talking about Jessie's newest star power, Shocky. Now, for this star power, Scrappy, the turret, now shoots out energy orbs that bounce between enemies. And as you guys can see, literally every single bullet that her turret shoots out turns into a bouncy energy shock that will bounce off targets, dealing damage to a maximum of 3 targets. If enemy players are lined up, this literally triples her damage output against an enemy team, which is truly shocking. Shocking. If the dance wasn't cringy enough for you. And there are a few things that you need to consider with this star power. First off is the fact that Jessie won't charge up her super any more than normal, since the first bounce is the only one that will actually count towards charging up her super. So that's one good thing. But another thing to consider is the fact that the speed of the projectile does not decrease after that first bounce. You know how like when Jessie's regular attack actually bounces off of a player, the projectile speed decreases, so it's easier to dodge it after that? That is not the case with the Shocky star power. It'll just keep going like really fast, meaning that any additional targets within 3 to 4 tiles from the original target will get hit. Now another thing to consider is the fact that the projectile will continue for about 5 tiles from the original bounce after it hits the first target, meaning that if it hits 2 targets, her turret will have an effective range of 18 1/3 tiles, and that is not even including the 4 2/3 throw range from Jessie when she actually throws out the turret. Including that, we're talking about a crazy possible 23 tiles, which is crazy. Like I said. Also, I should mention, for real, I'm willing to admit that I was wrong on Daryl's star power being OP from last week. I thought it was going to be amazing. It just turned out to be like, okay. But this star power seriously has the potential to dominate. Okay guys, just imagine playing Jessie in Heist and dropping her turret down just barely within range of it being able to actually shoot the safe. Shots will literally be bouncing all over the place, hitting players and the safe left and right. It's gonna be nuts. Now throwers and long range brawlers will still be good options against the turret, but close range brawlers will spell doom for their teammates, because in order for them to get close to the turret, they're gonna have to take fire and then it's gonna bounce off and hit their teammates. And that's it's gonna be a nightmare for their team. Now for Jessie's original star power, we have Energized. Jessie can repair her gun turret for 800 of its missing health by zapping it with her attack. This is also an amazing star power because with 3 quick attacks, Jessie can heal up to 61% of the turret's HP. For reference, if the turret is under attack and Jessie heals it with 3 quick attacks, that's like the turret having 6.3 thousand health, which is just under the amount of health that Daryl has. Additionally, after her attack hits the turret, it will then bounce off the turret and travel an additional 6 1/3 tiles to hit another enemy target. Now, Jessie's attack can only bounce twice, and that bounce on the turret does actually count as one of the bounces, but in most cases, healing the turret will be more beneficial as Jessie likely wouldn't hit a 3rd target anyway. Sometimes it can happen, but you know, when it does, it's really nice. But there are a few good reasons for using this star power. The first is that it's a range extender, okay? So you can actually like hit an enemy player from a safe distance by bouncing it off the turret. And using the turret kind of like to close the gap. But one of my favorite ways to use this star power is just by throwing out the turret, waiting until an enemy attacks it, and then quickly burst healing it up. And if everything works out ideally, you'll keep the turret up to health, the enemy player will be completely out of ammo, and your shots will land on them, taking them out along with the health of the turret. It is such a good move, and a really skilled Jessie player will use this to completely control the map if the enemy team does not have a thrower or a long-range brawler that actually counters Jessie's turret from a safe distance. So then, both of these star powers are really excellent, but which one is better? Well, I absolutely think that both of these star powers are worth getting. In fact, Jessie is one of the brawlers that I highly recommend getting to level 9 as soon as possible because her star powers are just so good. I think that a really skilled player will be able to play around Shocky better than against Energized, meaning that Energized is likely to be the better pick in the competitive scene. However, I do think that players that are lower in trophies will get punished by Shocky very often, especially in modes like Siege and Heist, where you actually have a target for her to like bounce attacks off of. Now, if I were to play Jessie above 600 trophies, I would probably prefer Energized, but below that, I'd probably want Shocky because it's just so punishing to those lower trophy players. I do think that both star powers are S tier and are absolutely worth getting, but if I could only choose one to use forever, I'd probably stick with Jessie's original star power, Energized. Up next, guys, we have Jean's star power, Chief Pat on the back. Oh, hey there, Pat. Sorry, no, I just meant regular Pat on the back. Goodbye. Now for this star power, hitting teammates with Jean's super now heals them for 2,000 HP. This is actually a pretty big burst heal, okay? In fact, it's like 2/3 of what Poco can heal with his super. And it's not even limited to just one teammate. If two teammates happen to be lined up, Jean's super will go through both of them and heal both of them for 2,000 HP. And his super doesn't get wasted either. Even if he ends up healing teammates with his super, it will still grab an enemy player and pull them to you after healing them if the enemy player happens to be in the right situation. So really, like, in a perfect world, Jean will be able to heal two teammates for 2,000 HP and pull an enemy player toward him so that everybody can like gang up on them and take him out. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen very often, but if everything was lined up perfectly, I guess you could absolutely switch the game to your favor and have a victory because of that one play. Now, I do not think that Jean will want to sacrifice his super to heal teammates very often because his super is one of the most influential supers in the game. Entire matches can be won because of a single well-aimed Jean super. So in most cases, you won't want to sacrifice your super in order to just heal a teammate unless you can also pull somebody. But at least this does give Jean the option to use it in the right type of situation. Now for his other star power, we have Magic Puffs, where Jean heals all friendly brawlers around him for 200 health per second. I don't know what's exactly in those Magic Puffs, but you know, they'll sure make your brawlers feel good. My guess is that this is the reason why Jean is still really popular, even though he's kind of like the weird kid at school. This star power is really interesting. So like 200 HP, that's not a whole lot of healing, even like 200 HP per second, like even after a long time. It doesn't happen a whole lot, but it does happen passively without the player actually having to think about it. And while it will not make or break most of your matches, there are some times when it can really come in clutch, especially if you're playing against brawlers that deal very little damage from a distance, like Terra, Crow, Spike, or even another Jean. And then sometimes on like the right map or situation where you tend to be bunched up with your teammates, the star power can make a difference over a long period of time. With all that being said, I highly recommend not bunching up with your teammate because staying close together makes it a lot easier for the enemy team to land shots on your team, and that's just not good. It's like even if they will miss one person, they'll hit the next. So in most cases, you shouldn't even try to really use this star power unless like the right situation arises for it. So then, you know, both of these star powers have like a negative to them, but which one is going to be better? Honestly, neither star power really is super amazing. Magic Puffs is the kind of star power that rarely makes a big impact on the tide of battle because of like how little healing it provides, and because skilled players will rarely stay close enough to Jean in order to make it effective, and they really even shouldn't, even though he can heal them. On the flip side, I do not think that Pat on the back is going to be worth using very often, because focusing on Jean's super for clutch moments is going to be way more worth it in the long run. I think that both of these star powers are B tier star powers, but I will suggest getting and using Pat on the back more often than Magic Puffs. While you won't want to use Pat on the back instead of Jean's super, there may be times when sacrificing it will be actually worth it, and there may also be times when you'll be able to heal teammates and pull an ideal target toward you. And then of course, guys, we got Bibi's star power, starting off with her newest one, Batting Stance. When Bibi's home run bar is fully charged, Batting Stance allows her to shield herself from all damage by 30%. This sounds like a decent amount of HP, and it actually is. At max HP, this is like Bibi gaining 1,848 HP, bringing her survivability to just over 8,000 damage. For reference, that is really close to El Primo's health at max level. Now, obviously, this is not going to be all of the time. This will only be effective when Bibi isn't willing to attack in order for her to maintain the home run bar. So there are a few situations where I could see this being beneficial. When she's trying to get close to a long-range brawler, that's like one situation. Another situation might be like she's trying to score a goal in Brawl Ball, or she like needs to pick up that last gem in Gem Grab and needs the shield to help survive while she escapes. Honestly, there's not a whole lot to the star power. It's kind of a boring one, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, for Bibi's original star power, we have Home Run. For this star power, Bibi's movement speed is increased by 15% whenever her home run bar is fully charged. This brings her movement speed up to 3 tiles per second. Now for reference, Leon has the fastest movement speed with his Smoke Trail star power at 3.4 tiles per second. Rico has the second fastest with his Robo Retreat star power at 3.2 tiles per second. Bibi takes third fastest with this star power. And then we have like the fast moving brawlers like Crow or Mortis at 2.7 tiles per second. And just for the sake of clarity, we have the majority of the brawlers at 2.4 tiles per second. This means that her star power allows Bibi to move 24% faster than most of the brawlers of the game at their base movement speed, and it definitely shows in the middle of battle. In fact, Bibi has the highest win rate out of all brawlers above 600 trophies in both Siege and Heist, and a big reason for this is that star power. It allows her to swoop in, grab a bolt, run away, demanding control over the field on Siege, and in Heist, it allows her to travel massive distances way faster than other brawlers, and she can also use it to easily dance between shots, allowing her to stay alive much longer than normal. In the hands of the right player, this star power offers insane versatility. So then, which one is better? Honestly, I don't think it's much of a competition. I like the idea of the shield on Bibi when she has her home run charged up, but there's not actually that much you can do with her shield that her home run star power can't even do better. The extra movement allows her to dodge shots with ease, thereby saving her from damage. She can use it to get like gems or bolts even faster. She can also use it to score a goal fairly easily in Brawl Ball, or like use it to run away if she needs. I think that batting stance is a B tier star power, and I might consider it an A tier star power if home run didn't outshine it so much. I would say that home run is an S tier star power in the hands of the right player, and probably A tier for most casual players. Once again, this is a competitive tier list, so you know, S tier, we'll stick with that. Okay guys, now for today's video, there were some obvious winners as far as which star powers you should focus on getting first and which ones you should be using most. But let's go ahead and break it down for you guys. Now, both Jessie's Shocky and Energized offer a lot of value, and you will want both. But most players will probably benefit with Shocky as a non-competitive option because enemy players will often get punished a lot more when they don't know how to handle that turret. Now, although Jean's star powers both come with kind of like disadvantages, Pat on the Back offers more versatility to Jean, and the ability to burst heal teammates will come in handy. Now, for Bibi's star powers, I think that Home Run offers an amazing utility, and although it does do it differently than batting stance, it will likely outperform her batting stance in most situations. Out of all of the star powers, it's difficult to say exactly which one is the best, as I think that it will mostly depend on how high you are in trophies. But if you're consistently playing matches below 600 trophies, I highly recommend getting Shocky first. But if you're above 600 trophies on the majority of your brawlers, then Home Run for Bibi is going to be your best bet. I mean, it's proven to be a solid one. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I would love to know which of these star powers you are most excited to play with. So make sure you let me know in the comment section below. And also, guys, I wanted to let you know that you can join my Discord server. If you didn't already know, we've got a fantastic community of people that are not only fans of the channel, but are obviously there because they love Brawl Stars and, you know, they want to interact with other people that love Brawl Stars. So if you want to do that, you guys should absolutely check it out. As with all of my social media, link is in the description below. For now, guys, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.